Okay, here is now a update on Bitcoin Cash. I took off all the old markings and labels, and I was staring at the chart for a little while. And let me just do it from the beginning. And I like doing this because getting rid of all of the old labelings have it so that you start from the scratch, and it makes you have some aha moments that you might not have considered before, or that might not have occurred if you had kept the old labels on, because that kind of sets you back to a preset conception of what the chart should look like, and unless you get rid of all of that and kind of restart from the beginning. So I'm just going to do a line. I'll let you draw lines. Look how beautifully those here are sitting right on there. Okay? As support. And then I'm going to draw another line. I'm going to do another line from here going up. Okay. So we're back to another triangle. And remember the hurry up and wait syndrome. And this is giving it the maximum. Actually, I've seen ZEC coin about a year ago, no, last March, March, I think, do a correction that just lasted forever. So, the hurry up and wait syndrome. Crypto coins don't waste any time putting in the 5 waves. It took not even a month in this case to put in 5 waves. And yet here we are since the 21st of September to now, about a month, over a month. And it's still correcting. And yes, it can test the patience of anybody. But what has kept me steadfast on Bitcoin Cash is I see 5 waves. And after 5 waves, there is a retracement. I want to call this, instead of an ABC, W, X, Y for now. This has a ABC, ABC, ABC. And here we can count a micro 5 wave, and it's taking its time. The way I have it drawn, the apex, the point where the two symmetrical lines of the triangle cross, is on the 30th of October. So in 5 days. Now, for some of you out there, when you were seeing my analysis from the beginning, I can understand your level of frustration, because before all of these prices were in, my line was going like this, my triangle. And as we got more price data, my triangle got modified. And I'm not going to go all the way to the top here. I'm going to connect as many tops of the price as possible. In fact, I can bring it like this. Doesn't really matter. So we have 5 WXY. Now, let's keep the other thing that's been keeping me steadfast on this call, bullish call for Bitcoin Cash, which some people call the trash, bit trash. I don't care anything about the utility of it. You might be shocked by that because I'm a technical analyst. I don't care about the fundamentals say. I only look at the technical analysis. Elliott wave states that an event or news shall arrive to justify the forecast, and never the reverse. A lot of people try to use fundamental analysis to justify their analysis of technical analysis. And I think that is error prone. Now, these 5 waves become subwaves of a higher degree, wave 1. There's WXY, and there's more than one way of labeling this as a combination. But I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible. When I start going really combination, deep level, then people who are new to Elliott waves are going to be very confounded, as I was when I was studying. So WXY are the subwaves of 2. What comes after wave 2? Wave 3. Okay, and that's what's one of the other reasons what's been holding me steadfast on my call. And we know wave 1 is here, wave 2. Wave 3 is going to be higher than wave 1. And you might be asking, well, gee, Hedgen, what will cause this? What will drive it up so high? I have not a clue what fundamental event or news will arrive to justify it. I don't know the detail. I cannot name it. But I know something will happen, whatever that is. And frankly, I don't care what that is. So, let's wait a few more days and see what happens. How do we know this is going to change out? It'll go in an impulse. And within this one, you will see the first impulse as a subwaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wave 3 must be higher than wave 1. 1, 2, just like here. And wave 3 cannot be the shortest. It has to be longer than 1. So wave 1 took it from 190 to 976. So about $690. So you'd have to go over 1,000 to be there. Should be longer than 3. Should be longer than 1. For those of you who bought here, in this region, and I've been laddering down. From around here to just almost to the bottom, buying incrementally and waiting for this. But I like the fact that it has flatlined almost. That means the sellers are exhausted. And what happens when the sellers get exhausted? The buyers become more emboldened. So let us see what happens over the past few days. That might be a very nice surprise. So is now a good time to ladder in? Hell yeah, I would say so. There's 1, 2, what happens after 2? Wave 3 happens. In my humble opinion, IMHO. I mean, time really shouldn't matter to an Elliottician, as long as the pattern is still consistent and the call is still consistent. Yes, time will matter to a trader. More you realize your profit, the better it is. I understand that. But if you're in a position and you're not all in it, so that you're well diversified and this is just a proportion of it, a smaller, for me, is like less than 3% of my portfolio, then you have the patience. If you're all in at 100%, you would have already sold over here, I'm sure. Frustrated and disgusted at the hurry up and wait syndrome. The hurry up and the very long wait. The waiting syndrome of Bitcoin Cash. But if you're not so heavily in portfolio percentage-wise invested in here, but you have still a position, you will have the patience, and you won't buy high and sell low. That's the killer. I think it'll do well. Let's see how it goes.